Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's famous, first and only. Actually, I messed that all up. I was sorry. I kept thinking, here's the thing.
Must be the ghost haunting you.
You know what? That might have been it, but honestly, it's a little rough. I had a chance to play Madden for the first time in a long time, and I beat the 49ers today before we got started.
Who were you playing as?
The Raiders.
Oh, okay.
It was next season, so I had some players that didn't exist. So in the fantasy world, of course. So I was excited to tell Greg that I destroyed the 49ers. And I messed that up because I usually introduce Greg as world famous juggler Greg Larson. And this is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh Room producer Todd. How you doing, Todd? And how you doing, Greg?
Good.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this week we are very excited to review and discuss the 2007 film Hot Rod. Holy Toledo, what's going on? What just happened?
Ghost left.
It was a little strange. I mean, for those audio listeners, there was a little bit of a blackout, like a brief second. Apologize for the YouTube channel, and thank you for watching. So, Todd, are you ready for the trailer?
Yes, sir.
Let's roll it, please. Thank you.
What's up, little riders? Jump in the public pool tomorrow. Tell your friends. That's just a sample.
Good luck.
Don't worry, Denise. I've done this before.
So, what are you supposed to be?
A stuntman.
Wow.
My safe word will be whiskey.
You mean whiskey?
What?
I just don't get why you're saying it that way.
Why I'm saying what way?
Forget it.
I will forget it. Whoa, whiskey! Whiskey! Oh! Hey, everybody. We have a new crew member today, Denise. So I thought it'd be fun if we all went around and said a little something about ourselves. I like to party.
I like to party.
No, Dave, I just said that I party.
I like to party.
No.
I like to party.
Okay, nobody parties but me.
Yeah, just Rod.
Yes.
And me.
Sweet.
Oh my God, shut up.
Hey, Rod, maybe you shouldn't fight Dad this week.
Relax, Kev. I'm gonna win this time. I did like 40 crunches yesterday.
Get ready to meet your maker.
Oh, God! We hadn't even started yet!
I just had a great idea.
One big jump, gentlemen. The biggest jump this town's ever seen. Let's party. If I'm gonna jump 15 buses, my body's gonna have to be in top physical form. Did we reinforce the takeoff ramp?
No, we didn't have time.
Cool. Oh, I've already drafted a rough schedule of exercises that will help us take things to the next level. Now! No, not now!
You're a terrible stuntman.
What?
You're a terrible stuntman.
I'm just kidding. I can hear you. It was just really mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a jump for the ages. The moment we've all been waiting for. He's going in circles!
Andy Samberg.
Who wants to see me do big stuff?
Hot Rod.
All great men have mustaches.
Yeah, but real men actually grow them, huh?
You know I have a hormone disorder!
And that was the trailer for Hot Rod, released on August 3rd, 2007, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 88 minutes, directed by Akiva Schaffer and written by Pam Brady, starring Adam Samberg, Isla Fisher, and, of course, Michael McShane, you saw in the trailer, but Bill Hader and Danny McBride, gems early on. So initial thoughts on this, I had seen this back in the Netflix disc days and saw it, thought it was great, and sent it off. And that was about 10 years ago. Actually, 15? Closer to 15. When did they get rid of discs?
I
Or
don't
do they still
remember.
do discs?
No, it's been at least probably about 5 years now.
Okay.
Maybe I don't even know if it's been that long. But I didn't make it all the way to the end. I quit a couple years before they ended them.
Right. But I was pleased to revisit because I forgot the majority of the movie. So it was almost like watching it for the first time, and I enjoyed it the second time around, and I think it might have been because I became more familiar with Bill Hader and Danny McBride, especially Bill Hader, because if anybody's seen Barry, you just see a different side of him, and it sucks the way, he's got the kind of talent that can make him like a leading man easily, right? But doesn't have that hero look, I guess. But I think I'd want to see him as like kind of like a sinister villain. Like I'd be like maybe like a Jervis Tetch from Batman, the Mad Hatter.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Moving on. He just incredibly talented. So to see him play this is funny. What's up?
No, I was going to say, I think Bob Odenkirk gets all the roles he would have if there was no Bob Odenkirk. I think Bill Hader would get those roles.
Interesting.
I think they're kind of like, I don't want to say interchangeable, but I think those guys would be the competing guys. You know how we've had the other things with, the thorn in their side. I think without him, he would get those. Like he could have been in Nobody, for example.
Oh yeah.
So
interesting.
I think,
yeah, that's a good take. But how about your guys' initial thoughts? Who wants to kick in?
So I remember seeing this trailer, but had never seen this film. And I'm currently actually doing my first run through of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I was excited to see how this goes, especially knowing Bill Hader's in this, because I love just about everything he does. I think he's hilarious and underrated. So I was excited to see how this went, and I do have to say there was I wasn't as pleased as I thought I'd be. I feel like a lot of it felt forced, like it was trying too hard, and I don't know if maybe I was in the wrong mindset for it or what, but yeah, this one just I was surprised it didn't hit the same way that I expected it to. I think it was, and also on the fact of like the hitting the H joke, like we know Stewie did that in Family Guy,
right?
And that was in 2006 before this came out. So it's like, I know jokes get recycled and jokes do happen, but like where they're similar. But this one,
it didn't age well because that became too iconic with Stewie.
Right,
it was kind of a funnier scene anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, it was an interesting first playthrough. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it wasn't what I was kind of expecting, knowing who the cast was.
Now, if someone would have told you, well, this is a Lorne Michaels produced Saturday Night Live movie, would it have lowered your standards?
Right. My bar would have gone so much lower.
But here's the thing, like to counter that, like let's look in the past. I mean,
you don't name
this.
Don't name the 3 ones that are cult classics when the rest are garbage like it's Pet, which is what you're about to do.
No, go ahead.
Everyone you got, I'll have a counter. Go.
No, okay, no. Okay, so I'm going to go outside the big 3, which we know what the big 3 are. Okay? So we'd be leaning.
Are we saying the big 3?
Wayne's World, right?
Blues Brothers.
Tommy Boy?
Yeah.
Coneheads?
I was going to say
no,
Coneheads.
that's a garbage one. I'd put Blues Brothers in that 3rd spot.
You don't like Coneheads?
I didn't say that. Oh, no, I don't. But
okay, future review.
But yeah, I think Blues Brothers has to be in that 3rd spot. I don't think there's there's no way that goes over Blues Brothers. I'm not even a fan of Blues Brothers.
No, of course not.
And that's
I mean, that's why I mentioned the 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, you know what? We can continue discussing, and I might do some side research here.
There's far more misses than hits. I'll just say that.
Okay, that's a fair. There's
far,
but here's the thing. But as Greg said, knowing the specific cast, and I think here's where it kind of goes into it. So when you go to those 3, what's like the characters feel more real, and they don't try to be funny. They're just being the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jake and Eli, Wayne and Garth, and Tommy Callahan. And specifically, like when there's a scene when he's crying over his dad, but he's like trying to look goofy. And his brother comes in and he tells him to get out, and it's like an awkward, like, you feel for him, so I don't want to laugh at him, right?
Mhm.
And I thought back to the scene in Tommy Boy when whenever he's talking about his dad in Tommy Boy, he's not trying to be funny. He's just genuinely like reminiscing, right? So, and then thinking back, there's again, Greg, there's some moments that feel a bit forced, like the the, we were talking about the Family Guy joke as well. But looking at my list of what I've written down, it actually all mostly belongs to Bill Hader, Danny McBride, or Will Arnett with the lines, right? I don't have anything specific to the main character doing something that made me do it for me. I think if he toned it down, it would have gotten over a lot better. How would you fare on that assessment?
It's
Yeah, that's
Andy
fair.
Samberg being Andy Samberg, so it's like that's what I expect out of him.
I haven't watched any Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Greg, is this kind of along the same lines?
No, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's exponentially better.
Yeah, I agree.
No, but in
It's
terms
funny.
of his, but like in terms of like, does it seem forced versus
No,
everything
like
more
it
feels
fits.
natural and
Everything
organic?
fits. Like everything blends well in
Okay.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I will
Yeah.
say this though, Ozzy, if you do attempt to it, I will be honest. When that show premiered, I watched the first episode and I'm like, done. It wasn't until about 10 years later when it hit Hulu, I was like, you know what? Because I heard other people and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I loved it when I like got past that first episode and really got the feel of the show. So
And that's actually what happened to me. I watched the first one and I was like, and it was recent too. And I was just like, I don't get why people are all about this show. And then one day I was like, I'm doing some stuff around the house. Let me just put it on. And then I found myself, walking by and then stopping and not doing what I was trying to do. So, and it did get much better. And by the way, I did find another Lorne Michaels produced film that also is probably above all the ones mentioned previously.
Which
Three
is?
Amigos.
Okay. All right. There you go. Yeah. But I think it helps. Like the reason I gave Brooklyn Nine-Nine a second chance was because I watched Hot Rod and Pop Star, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give the show a chance because I found the movies, entertaining. Spoiler if we do Pop Stars. But yeah, so I agree. He gets better.
Yeah. So let's get into the favorite moments.
All right.
I mean, I got a bunch. I could go a few times because there were some great lines. I mean, not by others, but before we jump into that, I did want to say, did you guys catch all the wrestling references? I mean, so you had the Stone Cold shirt, right?
Right.
You had the Hulkamania shirt, and then you had the Midnight Express theme randomly.
I didn't catch that.
It sounded like the high synth, no lyrics instrumental. That was the theme for the Midnight Express. And I thought, wow, that's very specific, right? And it's interesting.
Makes sense.
Danny McBride, I think Danny McBride's a huge wrestling or old school wrestling fan. I mean, I don't know if you guys, like the third season of Righteous Gemstones, like that was incredible. And even in Vice Principals, when his love interest has the surname of Snodgrass, which is actually the surname of an old time professional wrestler. So,
like I said, even Eastbound and Down, Will Ferrell basically played Ric Flair. I mean,
that's actually one I haven't seen, so I got to check that out.
Yeah, do it.
Great. All right, so let's get into the favorite moments. I'm gonna list mine up at the top because this one had me rolling. Was Bill Hader's character sighing over the microphone, like when he's telling, he has the sense to keep it on as he's sighing.
Surprised Ozzy didn't steal that last night.
So you guys want to go?
Well, Greg, do you have one from Andy Samberg?
I have a few that I really enjoyed.
Okay, then go for. Okay, well, I was gonna say since I got one, I knew Ozzy didn't. I'll throw that one out. I have to admit, I loved it And it wasn't just when he did it, but it was when he said it, when he dance punched out all of his rage. Yeah, that bit got me. The montage, and then when he says it, that's what made me laugh when he actually says that he dance punched out all his rage. So.
That was all right.
So I'm gonna do two, and I apologize to take this, but one is because it's more for personal reasons than it is for how funny it actually was. There's a moment where he's like in his garage whacking the engine with like a hammer or something, making it look like he knows what he's doing. Now, when I was working at Great America, I had an old 1976 Grand Sierra pickup truck, and it wouldn't start. And legit, I opened the hood, grabbed a wrench. I have no clue what I'm doing looking at it. And while I'm wearing an FH Daily dealership shirt, sorry. I mean, great. Didn't realize that. So I end up hitting the engine with it once just because I was like, I'm so frustrated. And it started right up. And so it was great. And it brought a lot of joy to my heart. But laughter wise, the moment at the end where Scrooge comes out and he goes, "A goose for everybody."
Yeah, that's that.
I was
Yeah,
like, all right,
that's a great joke.
You got me good.
I wanted to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Todd. Or did you? No. Yes,
you
you guys went.
Yeah.
I just wanted to had like such an honorable mention was Will Arnett's line of seeing his friend in the bar, and then just in the background you hear him say, "Sullivan, you chode! I owe you a shot to the nuts." Do you guys have any others you want to throw in there?
The other one I had, I love the metal in Dave's head from the acid trip.
And the way that was shot, you only saw one side, and just hey, if you could, that'd be really great. And you didn't understand, you didn't see where that was coming, so that was fantastic.
So the
Greg,
weird part about this film is that so many moments of my life, I was like, did someone hear some of my stories? Because there was one time I allegedly was on ecstasy and stepped through a mirror and had a giant piece of glass sticking out of my heel. So, and like the whole time, I was like, it's cool. We got this. Like, we'll take care of it. It was very calm. But yeah. So do not keep infinity mirrors on the floor, by the way. Life lesson. But yeah, the line of if the boner police are here, I demand a lawyer. Solid line.
All right, so let's get into the ratings. Despite some of its shortcomings, I still enjoyed it and probably will revisit this. So I would give it, I mean, despite, like I said, but it has such a strong supporting cast that are put on solid performances, especially Ian McShane and the Sissy Spacek, the parents. So I'm cool with giving this a 4. How about you guys? I also appreciate its runtime because anything under 90 minutes, right. I love.
I love that that's coming back. That's like a thing.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead.
I've been debating this back and forth because I didn't think the movie was that great, especially the first half, but the back half of it, I think really it was like reverse most comedies where you're very front heavy with a lot of the comedy, but it was still fun. It just wasn't a great film. So would I watch it again? Sure, in the background. But I have to give this 3.5. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
I also got to give a shout out to the soundtrack. Solid.
Oh, for sure.
I think if this movie came out 4 years later, it would have a stronger cult following just because of the cast.
Yeah.
This is like a little bit before everyone really started hitting. And I do think it's funny. I think it's a little bit kind of some stuff feels stitched together to get through it, but I don't mind it. I laughed. The stupid stunts are funny. I'm a 4 also on this one.
Cool. Unfortunately, not available to stream anywhere as of March 16th. However, of course, is available
Well,
for purchase. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss something?
It is streaming on Pluto TV also with ads.
Oh, with ads. There you go. If you would tolerate that, or otherwise, you are of course able to purchase it wherever you purchase your favorite digital content. So before we head out for the evening, another quick reminder: I'll be hosting trivia in the Orange County area first in Lake Forest, the Rush Bar and Grill, beginning at 7:00, as well as Wednesday at the Brewery in Placentia, also beginning at 7. Free to play and prizes for the top winning team. So come on out. Do you guys have anything else to mention before we head out for the evening?
No.
Actually, you know what? There is one thing I kind of a little idea as we were talking about stuff from earlier. Are there any shows you're currently into right now? Just name one.
I rewatched the Joe Schmo show.
Okay, what episode are you on?
Well, they actually just started a new one, so I'm on season 4, episode 7 or 8. I think we're up to.
Okay, and how's that going so far?
It's not as good as the first one. I don't know if you guys watched the
I
first.
I remember the original very
Yeah.
well. Well, not
And
specifically the characters of Greg. Did you mention that Kristen Wiig was in the original cast
She's in the second season.
or second season? Okay,
Yeah. But yeah, it's not as good as the first, but that's
Gotcha.
what I've been revisiting.
Gotcha. Greg?
Yeah, besides Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I've been watching the latest season of Shoresy, which is
Shoresy.
Yes. So Letterkenny, which is one of my favorite comedies. Canadian comedy, guys who drink beer, play hockey, a small town kind of vibe, a lot of very quick-witted jokes, and a great wrestling run of puns in one of them. There's a character named Shoresy in Letterkenny who you never see his face because it's actually the main character. So you only see the back of his head, and he makes all kinds of great jokes and insults. But he's a hockey player. And so this is him and his spinoff now that Letterkenny's done. And he is now part of a hockey team. And it's about them trying to win the local beer league, basically. But it has some heart. It's good.
And where's that streaming?
That'll be on Hulu. Which is
Okay.
fun because you can watch a very foul-mouthed show on Disney. So that's always a
Right.
good time.
And Todd, I'm sorry, where's yours streaming?
On physical media. The new season is on TBS. You can watch
Although
it
I
now.
did start watching the first season on YouTube. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
I just started rewatching The League not too long ago.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm currently in the second season, and it's interesting. It's just interesting.
You know,
there's little like bits and pieces you notice, like Andre, played by oh man, I can't remember his name right now at the moment. That escapes me, but
Andre's the bald one, right?
yeah,
That's
he,
I can't think of it right now either.
but he has obviously his teeth, and my fiance pointed out he is the plastic surgeon, the one with the gap between his teeth. And I'm like, that's funny. Actually, I didn't even that didn't even click with me. But it's season. We just watched the White Knuckler episode where Taco sings about the Naginta, and Andre accidentally puts all white party because he wanted people to wear all white.
Right.
He's partnering with, and then they talk about Class Act and Firecracker, and part of that was like, I wonder how that would go today. Like it's interesting to revisit some of that stuff.
Luckily, Hulu didn't pull it.
And
Yeah.
fun connection, Rafi in The League is also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, he is.
Oh, there you go. Is he? I heard he's. You reminded me of that, but I heard he's kind of the same character.
Oh yeah, everything he does is the same.
He's
character,
basically
actually.
always
That's hilarious. All right, cool. All right, well, this concludes our review of Hot Rod. Feel free to check it out, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Hold on a second, I got to say our names. For world's famous juggler Greg Larson, Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and now we'll see you next week on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.